Hi, it's Jasmine, and I chose to make my brochure and radio commercial advertising a bilingual preschool that specializes in helping young Hispanic children learn to speak English. By making this brochure and radio commercial, I was hoping to attract immigrant families who speak little English that came to the United States from Mexico that have young children between the ages of 2 and 5. I designed this brochure and commercial in a very specific way that I felt would be appealing and engaging to Mexican families if they came across it. On my brochure, for example, I made all of the colors mirror the colors of the Mexican flag, red, white, and green. And I was trying to envision what I would want to see on a brochure if the situation were reversed and if I found myself in a different country looking for these services. And my attention would be caught immediately if I walked by and saw a brochure of my country's flag colors. So I made most of the colors red, white, and green, hoping that if a Mexican family were to walk by, it would capture their attention. And I also think that there is something really warm and welcoming about seeing your own country's flag colors, especially when you're in a different country. So my intention by doing this was also to make the families feel welcomed and their culture embraced. I put bienvenido at the very top of my brochure, which means welcome in Spanish, so that it would instantly grab their attention. I also made sure to put a lot of the important information on the brochure in Spanish so that it would be very clear to them that this is a program specializing in their native language. In the commercial, I started off by saying bienvenido because I wanted to instantly appeal to a Mexican audience. If a Mexican family were listening to the radio and the first thing they heard was welcome in their own language, it would catch their attention, especially because they are in the United States and they would probably continue listening. At the top of my brochure, I put a picture of a very young Mexican boy who is holding up blocks that spell out the word learn. I feel like this would be appealing to immigrant families from Mexico because it shows a boy from their ethnic group that is embracing the language of English and is demonstrating that he is a child who may have been in their children's shoes at one point. He looks happy and excited about learning the language, so I felt like this would be a perfect picture that would be very appealing to a Mexican family in this situation. And to the right of that picture, I put an image of a little girl coloring the Mexican flag. Again, I think that this would make immigrant families feel like their culture is being embraced and would be very appealing to them. I know Mexicans, like many cultures, are very loyal and patriotic to their country, so seeing a child color an image of their own flag would most likely be very intriguing to them. There are a couple of images on the brochure of numbers and colors written in both English as well as Spanish. This would help a family that speaks little or no English understand the concept of the brochure and services better, and would also illustrate to them that this brochure is implementing a program that specializes in their native language. And I think a family coming from Mexico would want to see their native language, and it would make them feel more at home and welcome. On the commercial, I emphasize the Spanish a lot because I think hearing your own native language in a different country would feel really welcoming and give them a sense of comfort. Throughout the brochure, I put pictures of children and families because in the Mexican culture, family is extremely important. It's a huge aspect of their culture, and not just family in the sense of mother, father, brother, sister, but grandparents are also very, very, very important to this culture as a whole. So I put a picture of a little girl with an older woman who looks like it could possibly be her grandmother, and I made sure to state in my brochure and commercial that this program embraces and emphasizes family. I specifically made this a hands-on parental-involved preschool program so that the parents would know that this program feels very, very strongly about family. And since that is such an important part of the Mexican culture, I definitely feel like this would be extremely appealing to them. And I made sure to write this in Spanish on the brochure and say it in Spanish on the commercial. My design of the brochure and the way I presented the commercial lines up with the elements I learned in this class because it demonstrates the overall message of what culture really is. Each culture is so different and unique and has certain things that they find appealing that another culture may not. And it really demonstrated how truly important it is to learn to communicate cross-culturally. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.